Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Symphogear Zesshou Shinai, the very last, almost very last of Symphogear that we still have to experience, because there is still the concert, and beyond that, there is something, but we don't know what. Not quite yet, at least. There's a game, a gacha game, but unfortunately it's dead on the global market. It's only alive in Japanese market, I believe. And since I don't know Moonbruns, I won't be able to experience that story, sadly, unless there are some, I don't know, translated stories up on YouTube or something. Then maybe I'll look into that, but that would be in my own spare time. Unlikely that I would make any videos on the topic. Right. As you might have observed, there was no little bit of housekeeping, right? There was no Symphogear last week. I'm kind of spacing myself out a little bit with it for the live stream to happen when I have a little bit more spare time, because it's the end of the year, the end of the semester, and I have quite a lot of work at school. I have so many projects to grade, I have so many grades to write into the system. I have so many students that will want a better grade despite not deserving one. It's a mess. It takes a lot of my time and energy, so I don't want to go through the concert like on low energy and stuff. So Zesshou Shinai, that's fun, that's fine, that's happy thoughts. So I shouldn't have any issues. And it's long weekend because Thursday and Friday were free, so we're off, rather, school was closed. So I have a little bit more energy in me to get into it. Another bit of housekeeping, it's getting hot in here. So I have a fan running in the background. From what I checked on the audio thingamajig that's moving there in OBS, you shouldn't be able to hear it. But if you do hear some noise in the background, that's the fan working. Actually, maybe I can turn it off. Okay, I'll try turning it off. And if I break out in sweat, then I will turn it back on between the episodes of Zesshou Shinai. Okay. Anything else? What am I expecting from those Zesshou Shinais? Fun, mostly, but also some depth. As time goes on, as seasons go on, it seems that Zesshou Shinais gain little bit more depth. Early on, they were mostly fun. Then, as time goes on, there are some skits, some gags, some scenes. Not gags because they aren't all that funny, but scenes, I guess, would be the best way to put it, that aren't fun in the haha funny way, but rather expand a little bit on some characters, get a little bit deeper into their psyche, things like that. So especially since it's the last of Zesshou Shinais that we will see, probably, I expect a little bit of that expansion also being done. I fully expect we get some slice of life moments. I fully hope we get some slice of life moments. The biggest issue, again, quote unquote issue, that I had with later seasons of Symphogear was the lack of slice of life moments. As I said many a time, early on, the fact that we got half an episode, Hibiki just being out and about with her friends and being at school and having a happy fun time with Miku eating some pancakes at Flower, and then half of that episode was running for their lives. That grounded the running for our lives part because it was something tangible, right? I need to help and save my friends. While in later seasons, we got a little bit more, a fair bit more detached. There was less and less of the school, less and less of the slice of life. At the end of XV, like the latter half of XV, even before that, was essentially just living at the S.O.N.G base and going on missions, and there wasn't even any school moments or, you know, Hibiki laying in bed with Miku and talking about stuff. Nothing of that sort. So the story did feel larger than life, but it took both the best parts of it and the worst parts of it. So it's kind of ambivalent. So yeah, I hope that Zesshou Shinai's do fill up a little bit of that void, do bring up a little bit of that slice of life element. They cannot change what's already happened in the episode, in the season, of course, but they can still recontextualize. That's not the correct pronunciation. Put it in a new context. Put what happened in a new context. I see the first title card being just before the birthday party, so that's something already, right? Anything else? I think that's it. I don't think I have anything more to say. So how about I just shut up and we start watching it? As always, the format will be episode, discussion, episodes, then going through it again, the discussion segment, then a little bit of closing thoughts on the episode, then the next one, and at the end some closing thoughts on all of them. All the timestamps will be there, so if you're interested in any particular Zesshou Shinai, you can jump straight to it. Okay. Okay. A little bit of tea, and I think I'm ready. So let's start watching. How about that? To do that, of course, you're gonna need your subs to follow along with me. Why did the screen black out for a moment? I hope it's not there on the video, but if it is, it's just a split second. I will need my sound to hear what's going on, and I'm gonna have to ask you for your support on Patreon, for example, linked in the description below, where for $10 a month you can get early access to non-seasonal shows, and for just $1, roll on the Discord, place in the credits, stuff like that. And with all of that out of the way, or you can just support the channel for free, share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing, and helps the channel a lot still. And now, with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 1 of Symphogear Zesshou Shinai XV, whatever the title is, the first OVA of XV. In 3, 2, 1, go. Just before the birthday party. Had my birthday yesterday, and I'm having my birthday party tomorrow, so it's topical. For the shrine to her parents. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Why a crayfish? Is this a pun that I'm not getting? Okay, we get a little bit of explanation. Actually, Chris in her gear kinda looks like a crayfish, doesn't she? Yeah, I'm afraid. Who's shooting fireworks outside? Jesus Christ, really? Okay, that's on brand. The character on the left looks very much like from a not even 90s, like 80s or 70s anime. No, you can't. Not when it comes to cake. Okay, that would work. That wouldn't. Please don't. Tsubasa would be better suited to slicing cake. Oh, a wedding. Yep, yep. I mean, it's only proper for you to slice the cake together. Looking for an outfit for Chris's birthday? Oh no, looking for a gift for Chris. Right, Chris does look cute things. Does like cute things. And how would you know? Yeah, exactly. Oh, I thought she's gonna ask how Maria knows that Tsubasa's underwear doesn't often match, but I guess not. Yeah, not a great idea. Someone certainly counted the candles on the cake. That's from Hibiki? Oh no, that's from Tsubasa. Yeah, that's a very Tsubasa kind of gift. Oh, okay. Tehepero? Yeah, that's a teehee pose if I've seen one. Oh, that's a cute dress. Dede. That she likes you, chubby. Or that. Oh, okay. That's it. So this was a birthday episode. Uh, oh, oh, I thought it's like the second episode started, but no, it's still the first one. An after credits scene. And now it's the end of the first episode. Okay. That was cute. That was exactly what I expected from Zesshou Shinai. So how about we watch this one again? Really quickly, because there isn't honestly all that much to talk about here. I like how we constantly get back to Chris's little shrine to her parents. It's been a fairly constant theme in Zesshou Shinai, at least, because it's not always mentioned in the seasons proper. But I believe so far every Zesshou Shinai had something about that. Or rather, Zesshou Shinai for each season had something about Chris's parents and that shrine. I might be mistaken though. Crayfish. I have no clue why. Besides the fact that again, Chris, when she's in her full gear with two miniguns, she looks a little bit like a crustacean with the red shell and all, but that's about the only thing I can come up with. But Hibiki is Hibiki, I guess. Crayfish are red and kinda small, so I guess it kinda fits Chris. Hibiki running away like a phantom thief. Which reminds me, I need to rewatch Magic Kaito. It's been a while since I've seen that show, and I've been looking to some reaction series to Magic Kaito, the one with the numbers, because there are like two versions. There's Magic Kaito and Magic Kaito 1407 or whatever the fuck the numbers are. I always watch the one with numbers, and I can't find anybody else watching it. If you've seen Magic Kaito, did you like it? I don't know. Leave me a comment because I really did like that series, and I wish there was more. But it's just a spin-off of Detective Conan, so you can't really expect that much. Just before the birthday party. Right, Kirika and Shirabe were missing. Did miss a lot of birthdays. Did they celebrate each other's at least? Or with Maria, the three of them maybe celebrating each other's birthdays? Probably not, although I can't really be sure. It's never been mentioned besides here that apparently. Okay, come on. Go back a few frames, please. I guess something's broken. We've never had a birthday before. Okay, so from what she said later, it sounded like they never attended a birthday party before, so they want to make up tenfold for it. But this seems like they've never had their own birthday celebrated. So I guess we have an answer. So I want to make this celebration so big it'll be worth 10 years worth of parties. Makes sense. That's the segue noise. Of course, Shirabe is going to cook. We can also work together on the cake. I can help too. Instead of the usual massage tickets. Oh, it's like a I'll prepare myself and print some maid service tickets. Gotcha, so essentially like 1 ticket for some service from Kirika. Like washing dishes or something. I don't know, maybe. Okay. It's an idea, for sure. And a cake, of course. And I can use Igalima to slice it. And of course, Shirabe's thoughts went towards slicing the cake together, although that's not quite what Kirika had in mind. Browsing some dresses. And of course, coming to the conclusion that, hey, if I can't pick anything, it's like the thought that counts, right? It's my presence that counts. Like, gifts are not really that important, so I'm just not gonna buy her anything. Right? Probably if I were to buy her a gift, she'd say, oh, you shouldn't have, so I'm just gonna be 1 step ahead and just not buy her anything. Simple, right? Very simple indeed. Okay, what do we have here? There's pizza, there's some fried chicken, there's a salad, some juice, potato chips. A standard fare. And of course the cake looks like whipped cream and strawberries. Red and white fits Chris's theme. Winter gloves. Giant cake fit for a wedding. Sure. Boys Day doll. What's a Boys Day doll? Is it like a fictional brand in the universe, Boys Day? Or is it some, I don't know, Japanese thing that... Is it like an international Boys Day? Like the... Is that what it is? Or, I don't know, Japanese Boys Day, and it's customary to give boys dolls like that? I don't know. So what did you get her, Maria? And Maria the jokester, of course she did get Chris something. And what a something, alright. It's a very nice and very Chris dress, for sure. Did she ever wear it in the season proper? I don't think she did, which is a shame, because it's a really nice dress. If she did wear it, do correct me, please. Bad news, there's a lot of calories, of course. Good news, Elf9 is going to join us. I wonder if the second Zesshou Shinai will be the continuation of the birthday party, but with Elf9. Oh. And of course, Miku takes it upon herself to wash the dishes because she wants to be helpful. It's been the theme of her throughout the entire season. Miku wants to help. And of course, Hibiki wants to help Miku. Miku wants to help Hibiki, Hibiki wants to help Miku. That's essentially their relationship in a nutshell. And yeah, that does it for the first Zesshou Shinai. Oh, that was an outro. Sorry, misclick. So, the first one was cute and fluffy and a birthday, and it added a lot of slice of life elements that I was missing. For sure, I kind of wish, again, that's the running theme with Zesshou Shinais, I kind of wish some of those things were in the main season, main series, because they would, you know, elevate it a little, so to speak. Would ground the stakes a little bit and all those things. But yeah, besides that, that's a cool, cute and funny cute and funny. That's a cool episode. So let's watch another one. How about that? There we go. Episode 2. Subs. And I'm gonna quickly check how much space I have on my disk, but I should have just about enough. Just in case I'm gonna delete some older videos. There we go. Now I have space for sure. So, without further ado, we can start watching the Senki Zesshou Symphogear XV episode 2 in 3, 2, 1, go. Just before the start of XV, Elf9 working on her VR headset. Oh, she's trying to get in contact with Carol. The thing that happened off screen, mostly off screen in XV, we get a little bit of an explanation here. Okay. That's Carol playing some games. Why does she have a fried shrimp mug? And so she did. Carol's just lazing around. The first time in ages she could do that. That's a lot of Carols. She's persistent, if nothing else. Oh, hello, Elf9. She did make it inside after all. It makes sense, at least. Until the day I see you again. Okay, apartments. And it was all just a dream. Attakai. The theme of Attakai is, again, all throughout the series, something warm. And she very often brings something warm. Something warm to drink for Hibiki, I think once for Tsubasa as well. I think for Chris, maybe, not sure of that. Now a warm blanket for Elf9. Are we going to see that nightmare? I mean, he's not really used to operating in the field, so what do you expect? Exactly. And now he's having nightmares because of that. Exactly. Oh, are we gonna see the autoscorers? I thought Elf9 already made it in. I guess not. And they're multiplying. Okay, that's it. Another bit of some cute moments. Chibi Carol in black and white. That's a really cute look for her. Okay. After credits? No, nothing after credits. So, we can jump straight to watching it again. Uh, 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 There we go. Just before the start of XV, Fried Shrimp Mag, of course, person of great talent. Meanwhile, Carol is just resting. She's taking the well-deserved rest inside of her own body, but with Carol's mind now. The impenetrable apartment block until the day I see you again. Was that something Carol said? Was it the title of an episode or something like that? I'm not sure. But it seems like a significant line. Oh. Elf9 made it through somehow, and later on she didn't. I'm not sure what's the deal with that. And a tickle attack. Yep. The funny squeaky hammer. Someone's panties are flying off. What the fuck are they doing? That's a gun. That's a skirt. That's panties again. Okay, sure. And it's all inside of Elf9's head, of course, literally. And she, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but she again brings something at Takai. That's her trait, I guess, maybe you could say. I wonder what she's dreaming about. About her other self, of course. Warm things and coffee. Warm coffee is the things that she tends to bring. That recounts the events of Axis, or whatever the name was of that season. I think it was Axis. Sorry, the titles of seasons of Symphogear make so little sense that I honestly don't remember which one was which. If you told me that there was Symphogear AV and that was the third season, I'd probably believe you without checking. I would have to double check if there was Symphogear AV. They either have a few screws, sure, kinda. And he's been watching horrors, and that's how he has nightmares now. I was hoping that we get to see autoscorers. Perhaps in the third or fourth Zesshou though. And now Elf9 is no longer inside, no longer bothering Carol. Carol can just laze around. Which closet did we put that thing again? Durdabla. What was Durdabla? Was it the first robe of Carol? I think so. I guess this is more or less the moment where Carol has to take control of the body and start fighting, maybe? I'm not sure. Or is it still before the events of XV? Oh. And they're multiplying. I'll be right out, so just hold on. And a wicked grin. Very befitting Carol. And that's it. That's it for the second Zesshou Shinai. So, again, very cool episode. And again, I kind of wish it was a part of the season proper, at least bits and pieces of it, because the fact that Elf9 was trying to get Carol's mind back into operation, so to speak, that was not an ass pull, but an unexpected reveal. I guess it makes sense, but I would have liked to see a little bit more foreshadowing, perhaps. And but hey, at least this or this events of this kind of sorta added like as a flashback to the main season. But again, that's the thing I have to say about pretty much every single Zesshou Shinai. That many of those moments, many of those scenes would work really well, either as a part of the main season or as a flashback in one of the episodes of the main season. So, is there any point in me repeating that? I don't know, I'm not sure. But I really like that we get a little bit of focus on Elf9 and Carol in this one, and on the paper pushers from the I'm sorry again, I have no clue what their names are from the headquarters. They do get a little bit of screen time, but they're still mostly just background characters, or like secondary, tertiary characters. Not fully background, but not anywhere near front lines, so to speak. It's cool that we got to maybe not explore them a little bit more, but we got a couple more moments with them. It wasn't enough to talk about any sort of an exploration of a character. But yeah, another cute and funny episode. I really did like Carol in her mind, lazing around, eating some chips. Like what's the anime, the manga about the little sister that turns into a hamster or whatever? That kind of vibe I was getting from it. And but when shit hits the fan, Carol hits the door and walks out, takes control, and wipes the floor with enemies. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that does it for this episode. So, it is time to watch yet another one, of course. Subs, stop the timer, please. Subs, sound, and we can start watching episode 3 of Zesshou Shinai XV in 3, 2, 1, go. Right after the end of Axis. The alchemists escaping. Something is freedom, subjugation is liberation, as Satsuki-sama would have said. Fear is freedom. I mean, yeah, makes sense. Working under duress is a good trait for a leader. Maybe don't. You're still running away. But she can hide it well because she's an android. Although no, she did show plenty of emotions during the season, so I guess it's not like she's, robotic in her emotions. Yeah, very much so. Because he's not quite as powerful, actually. I mean, it's a plan of some sort. At least she realizes that what they're doing is evil, so hey, there's that at least. Okay, going the My Little Pony route, friendship is magic and all that. Requiem for Our Dream, Hell's Kitchen. Okay, didn't read the rest of them. I will though, no worries. Oh, that's the Nadiaki Soba, whatever it's called. Nagashi Somen. Yep, Nagashi Somen. It was in the previous Zesshou Shinais that they ate Nagashi Somen, didn't they? Sure. If you were to eat Nagashi Somen every day, you would eventually grow bored of it. He's learning how to eat noodles from the best, I'm guessing. Oof. No, it absolutely didn't have anything to do with any of her past relationships. They never do. That's one thing that plans have in common. Every single one plan. They never go exactly as predicted. The monster is defeated. I guess that's a good way to think about it. Sure. And that's another Zesshou Shinai done. It built a fair bit. It built their characters a fair bit more. It's cool. I like it. I like what the Zesshou Shinais are doing. After credits? No, nothing after credits. So... No, no. There we go. Let's watch it again, shall we? Yes, we shall. Running through the sewers. Freedom, what's freedom? Her unwavering resolve in the face of overwhelming agony. Sure. Taking a rest. Fighting for leadership, I'm assuming. Fighting each other. Or is it just a bit of a training arc or something like that between them? I'm not sure. We don't really have any context for those scenes. We'll be working with Kazanari Fudo. Probably the biggest mistake you could have made, to be honest. Just as with Saint-Germain, Cagliostro, and Prelati, I'm yet again overtaken by the thoughts of what could have been. You know? What could have been if they didn't go with Fudo? If they joined S.O.N.G? If they decided to not join Shemha, but rather oppose her and join S.O.N.G at some point? You know, what if Hibiki's Toku no Jutsu was just a little bit stronger? What if nobody interrupted Hibiki talking with the android girl? Her name starts with V. I don't remember what her name is. Way too many characters for me to remember everybody's name. I'm sorry. Veronica? Something like that. I don't know. Regardless. What if nobody interrupted their talk? What if she decided to take Hibiki's hand and be like, okay, sure, show us a different way, show us friendship, show us help, show us humanity, right? Things like that. Yeah, it's second season in a row where I feel like we experienced a huge, maybe not huge, but a waste of characters. In the previous season, it was a huge waste of characters because it really felt like Cagliostro Prelati and Saint Germain died because they were supposed to die, and the writers needed to write in some way to get rid of them. So they decided on a nuke, and then they're gonna stop that nuke, and it's gonna be so hard that they will have to sacrifice their very lives. I call bullshit still. In this season, the sacrifice at least made a little bit more sense. So I guess that's something, but still a waste of characters. I really miss the days when the bad guys would turn into good guys and join us, at least some of them, right? But alas, they decided to join Fudo and they bear the consequences. And now, okay, plans. Bring as many girls as possible. That's life goals, after all. And we need a name. And something that, yeah. something that makes us unique and different, so the power of friendship. And that theme actually worked, because they were very, very much friends, and that's something that did give them a little bit of strength, right? Working together, trusting each other, working towards a common goal. Then again, it kinda mirrors Saint Germain, Cagliostro, and Prelati again. It really feels, to a degree, like those three are maybe not a rehash of the previous trio of alchemists, but are kinda treading the same roads. Some things they're doing better than the previous trio, some things they're doing worse. They're not an upgrade, they're not a downgrade, they're a side grade, but mostly follow about the same themes. Okay, what are the names? Requiem for Our Dream, Hell's Kitchen, All's Fair in Love, and ICBMs. Sure. Victory Road, Alchemic Order of the Silver Twilight, Sinless Death Valley, Voynich Family. That's a very cool name. References the Voynich manuscript. Heaven's Rending, Last Notice, Electric Halberd, Gitta. That Gitta is probably a reference to something, I know. Girl Demo, that sounds like a name that Yoko Taro would come up with. Those random capitalized letters in the middle. Legend Survivor of Centuries End in lead speak. Anarchy Girls, Fight Papperdeleman, sure. Blood Clan Battalion, Sinister 3, Seventh Key Guardians, The Mother of Sighs. The Mother of Sighs is something that Vanessa is her name, that Vanessa is gonna have after reading that list. Wanna go for lunch with us? Nagashi Somen? No, you can't always have Nagashi Somen. It's a seasonal dish. That's a very cute elf 9. She really likes Nagashi Somen, doesn't she? Her favorite dish. I mean, at least we know that. We can write it down on Symphogear Wiki. The favorite dish of Elf9? Nagashi Somen. And I'm gonna be honest with you, cold noodles are kinda dope, especially in the summer. I probably already talked about this in the previous Zesshou Shinais, but I found instant noodles once in an Asian store, that you would boil the noodles, or rather, cover them with hot water. They were rice noodles, glass noodles. Then you would throw them into ice water, take them out, pour the sauce from the packet, and it was great. Now that we are starting our summer season and it's gonna get hot, and I'm gonna have a supply of ice cubes in the freezer, I think I'm gonna have to figure out ways to make some more cold dishes. Of course, chłodnik, a traditional Polish cold soup, but something that isn't a soup and is still cold would be very nice. A request to have it year-round as part of our employment benefits. You're gonna have to join a union first. And yeah, waiting for something makes you treasure that thing all the more. Indeed. If I continue, I'll continue to treasure it until the day I have it again and forevermore. That wouldn't have anything to do with any past relationships. We're getting a little bit of a depth to her, that there is apparently some past relationship that stings. Also, one thing I didn't talk about, bottom lip lipstick. I don't know why, but I so like it. Just bottom lip lipstick. I don't know why. But I really like that look. That's why there was that one character in Tokyo 24-ku, also an older office lady woman with bottom lipstick, and it just does something to me, alright? I don't know what, but bottom lipstick is great. From Beyond Human History, and then what are we looking at? Oh, that's the That's the thing from the first episode. The tomb, or whatever it was called. Yeah, that's the thing. We can get started with the analysis. I really like the chime that Vanessa is doing when she contacts them. It's such a nice stat, right? She doesn't want to just straight up speak into their minds. She wants to give them a little bit um, of a heads up that she's gonna start speaking, and does the little chime. That's cool. That's cute. What happens if things don't go as planned? Oh, you will see. You will see, unfortunately. Now that we've decided to move on by trampling others underfoot, of course. Just like how our lives have been so far, and the monsters always die in the end, so let's hurry up and start being humans. And we again come back to the theme of what is humanity, really? Is it in the body or is it in the mind? Right? If it's in the body, then if someone has an artificial limb, are they not wholly human? I don't know. Are they not? If someday, one day, you can take your brain, put it in a robot or in a PC connected to a cloud server and live as a construct of data, does it no longer mean you're a human? You used to be a human, so are you no longer? Just because your body is made of metal? Their understanding is that because they have monster traits, because their bodies are monstrous, they are no longer human, they are monsters. But it's all in the mind. In my opinion, humanity is here. As long as your mind, your thought process is human, you're a human. Simple as. And that does it for the third Zesshou Shinai. Another cool episode, a little bit darker than the previous ones for sure. Well, not darker, but less bright, I guess would be the way. The first one was mostly slice of life stuff. The second one was mostly just comedy with Elfline and Carol, but also some little bits of deeper themes. This one was mostly deep, showing us the lives of characters that we know are already dead. Right? It would feel different to watch it before, like, episode 10 of XV or episode 11 or something thereabouts. Right? Because it would be funny and fun and cool seeing how they interact, how they came to be, their dreams, their aspirations, etc., etc., etc. But now we know it was a dead man's wish. They are dead. They will not regain their humanity. They will not win. They sacrifice themselves, and that's the end of the road for them. And it sucks. And it's raining outside. Cool. Just on cue. Just on cue. And now it's time for the last Zesshou Shinai, the fourth one, a week before departing for Antarctica. In 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, especially the life of a hero. I mean, by now, going to Antarctica is pretty much an everyday occurrence to Hibiki. In the Arctic, I think they might have. Arctic is in the north, right? And Antarctic is in the south? I can never tell. But the one in the north does have some civilization. Inuit people and mostly Inuit people. South. Okay, so yeah, Antarctica is completely barren. Supposedly. I think it was debunked. It's really cute seeing Tsubasa be so over-eager at times. I like when her over-eagerness is spun for comedic effect, honestly. And Maria likes penguins. Okay. And she just really likes penguins. Or just cute animals in general. Gotcha. And it all fit inside of a paper bag. Is it a DVD? It's gonna be an action movie set in the Arctic or Antarctic. Oh, The Thing. It's probably The Thing. Or probably something else. Oi, oi, oi. Yeah, The Thing. Chris? Chris. I guess, yeah. You can turn it off. You control the buttons you press. Oh, and they got the good movie. No, they simply got a different movie. Probably something like Happy Feet or something. Of course she did. It's Hibiki we're talking about. Souvenir shops? That's a surprise. At some research base? Something, maybe? I don't know. Okay, mommy stays at home and cooks, and the papa is going out for work. And she's going to welcome Hibiki in a Hadaka apron and saying, "Would you like a bath or dinner or me?" And all will be right in the world. Anything after credits? No, it seems like it was only the first episode that had an after credits scene, or maybe. No, nothing after credits. Okay, so again, let's go through it again, shall we? Yes, we shall, of course. You're making it sound like you're just going down to the corner store. I think it's a little bit of Hibiki just being Hibiki, and a little bit of a defensive mechanism. I think, at least in part, it's a defensive mechanism for Hibiki to just completely underplay and disregard some of that stuff, some of those things that other people would freak over. Hibiki just consciously underplays, and it's like, oh no, it's nothing big. Sure, I'm going to Antarctica, but ha ha ha, it's just like going to a store, right? To give herself that courage as well. You know, kind of a force feedback system. If you talk about something like it's nothing and you're gonna ace it and it's not gonna be a problem, then you boost your confidence in actually being able to ace it and doing without a problem. I guess that might be it, at least partially. And there are no stores in Antarctica, of course. Swirl in the opposite direction. I swear it was debunked, but I'm not sure. For the longest time, I also believed that when you pour water through like a bowl with a hole in it, it swirls in one direction in the northern hemisphere and in the other in the southern hemisphere. But apparently the magnetic field won't have an effect on the direction of the water swirl, and the Coriolis force is too weak to affect water to that degree, or something like that, and it's just a party trick essentially. Oh, I'm not sure. Tell me in the comments if you know more on the topic, of course. And yeah, which direction would the spinny noise spin? Which direction do I usually spin? That's a good question, actually. In whichever direction is necessary. Maria is really, really happy, I noticed. Early on, in early seasons, especially in the season where she debuted, she was very, very serious and hard-boiled, and, you know, like, she essentially did have to care for two unruly children while living in an abandoned shack and trying to save the world by being the villains. So, of course, she was very grizzled and whatnot. But Maria really nicely mellowed out as time goes on. She really did. And I really like her, especially in this Zesshou Shinai, how she's smiling, she's, you know, laughing. If you have no idea, why would I? She says, smiling and laughing, right? I really like this Maria. And also, something to say about Tsubasa. Already said it, but I guess it bears repeating. I like how her traits can be played both for serious effect and for comedic effect. Right? In the season proper, her over-eagerness and her eagerness to please, to be the sentinel, to, you know, save people and whatnot, was played very seriously and led to a lot of issues, a lot of problems. Meanwhile, in this Zesshou Shinai, it's the perfect way to introduce some comedy to her character. And now she's overeager and she's wondering, what the fuck, which direction do I spin? Usually, I never bothered to think about it, but now it's significant and it's gonna bother me. I really, really like this duality. And there was a single frame of, yeah, of a, yep, heart tongue. Sorry, 3 frames. But also animated on once. So it was very, very smooth. Yep. Maria's secret exposed, but she takes it in stride. She doesn't deny, she doesn't play coy, she doesn't go old tsundere. I like cute things. What you gonna do about it? Although the little bit of sweat and the blush speak volumes, of course. Where did all of this sword's cuteness go? Ah, somewhere. And of course, a mix-up in movies. Apparently, it's some, I don't know, some drama movie about dogs or something. Probably. Nine Below. It's probably a riff on some other movie, like Seven Below or Seven Above or something like that. Meanwhile, this one is a play on The Thing. And Chris doesn't like horror. I really like those teary eyes all of them have. And the sound. Oi, 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 oi. Let me see those beady, teary eyes. Or is it the next? Yeah, no. Now we see those beady, teary eyes. I don't know. I really like how they look, how they reflect light. Who ended up with the horror? Of course it was Chris. The butt of the joke. And I guess Hibiki and Miku ended up with an entirely different movie? Or did they end up with The Nine Below as well? Oh, I'm not sure. No conbinis in Antarctica, of course. And Chris, of course, surprised that Hibiki actually believed her. But she shouldn't be surprised, because Hibiki is very gullible. We ended up Googling it, and apparently there's souvenir shops. That's interesting. Souvenir shops in Antarctica. I'd have to imagine somewhere on the borders of it, where there are some research stations. Maybe something of that sort. I'm not sure. Also, isn't Antarctica like international thing? How would you even have a business there? Antarctica souvenir shops. Is it actually a thing? No, okay. There are no souvenir shops in Antarctica. Fortunately, there are no souvenir shops in Antarctica yet, so any souvenirs taken home must be made on the spot. Hence the creation of magazines and yearbooks by expeditioners stationed in Antarctica. So I guess between 2022, when that article was written, and whatever year Symphogear is taking place, they build a souvenir shop in Antarctica. Interesting. And Hibiki is pouting, of course. And she's really something else, indeed. This is a very interesting image and very... very... I wanted to say straight, but there is nothing straight about this picture. Straight in meaning, right? There is no, like, multiple ways you can understand what's going on here. They're a married couple. Hibiki is going off to work, and Miku is waiting at home with a bath, a dinner, and herself. And Hibiki, indeed, she's deporting like she was going to work. Because it kinda is a work. It's kind of a part-time job for her. There are no stores in Antarctica, but you're acting like a store is all you're going to. Yeah, I know. You don't need to worry about me. Yeah, I know. And yet she does. She does. Like, the entirety of Symphogear XV is Miku worrying about Hibiki. I'll be back in no time, and I'll be waiting. And that's it. That's it. That's it for Zesshou Shinai. Okay, so about this particular one, it was mostly comedic skits, and I like it. The previous one, the third Zesshou Shinai, was fairly heavy in comparison. This one brought back the lightness. We got some cute moments with Maria, some cute moments with Tsubasa, with Hibiki, with Miku. That's what everybody's watching this show for, after all, for Hibiki and Miku. And I honestly was expecting that this episode is going to end with something. You know, I'm not sure with what, but with something, some sort of an oomph, for lack of a better word. Some scene of Hibiki and Miku holding hands and gazing uh, at the sky or at the broken moon, or something like that, something that feels like an end, like a finale, and so on. But instead we got a departure to Antarctica, and from there XV continues, essentially. Also interesting that pretty much everything that happened in this... okay, no, not yet, not yet. Let's, I want timestamps and also not yet. Yeah, in general, I like this episode as well. You can't really dislike the Shinais. There isn't anything unlikable about them, so me saying that I like this one is plenty obvious, I think. I did enjoy myself. It was a nice send-off episode, I guess, although missing that ending gag, ending skit, ending scene a little bit. Now, about the Shinais for XV as a whole. Again, I like them as a whole. I noticed, though, that everything that's taking place in those Zesshou Shinais is taking place between Axis and XV. There isn't any, so to speak, supplementary material of things that happened during the runtime of XV. Previous Zesshou Shinais, at least the first 2 or 3, I think, the Zesshou Shinais for the first 2 or 3 seasons did have moments talking about showing what happened between episodes, for example, or expanding on some topic, right? We might have seen in episode proper Hibiki's birthday, or I don't know, Miku's birthday, or whatever, as they're sitting by behind the table, eating, playing games, and whatnot. And then Hibiki gets a call, and Tsubasa gets a call, and everybody besides Miku gets a call, and they're like, oh no, we need to stop this party, we need to go. Miku, I'm sorry for leaving you with all of that, but, duty calls and whatnot. And Zesshou Shinai would show the rest of the party, what happened before that call that disrupted them, that interrupted them. Those previous Zesshou Shinais really felt like adding context to existing episodes. Like an episode would have been 30 minutes long, for example, but they didn't have the time because the time slot is 24 minutes, so they had to cut out some bits and pieces, and those bits and pieces were reworked into an episode or a skit or a scene of a Zesshou Shinai. That's how it was. This time around, it's pretty much entirely things between Axis and XV, which on one hand it's nice because there were plenty of things in XV that kind of sorta came out of the left field, like Carol being back in Elf9's body. So it's nice that we got a little bit more backstory on that, a little bit more backstory on the alchemists, etc., etc. But as opposed to previous Zesshou Shinais, it doesn't alleviate my yearning for more slice of life in the season proper, right? Because, again, previously, some skit or some scene of some episode of Zesshou Shinai would be in the middle of an episode of the series proper, adding some much needed slice of life. This time around, all the slice of life was between Axis and XV, and XV remains pretty much without any additions added by these Zesshou Shinais, which is a choice, and I'm not sure how much I like it. Usually when I had issue with a series proper, the season proper, not having enough grounding with those slice of life moments, the Zesshou Shinais were there to alleviate that. This time around, they don't. So XV is still missing those slice of life moments to me. It's still missing that grounding. It's still missing that direct threat. There's still that vague and big and huge, larger than life threat to humanity and existence as a whole, but there is no simple threat of Miku will get hurt, or the anime talking girl will get hurt, or the lady at flower will get hurt. You know, there's no low stakes, essentially, and the Soshinais don't add any. And I think I'm speaking in circles. It's late, I'm a little sleepy, maybe you can say that by how I speak. I might be slurring some of my words, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it should be about the time that we end it. That we end this episode about the Soshinais. I would like to say some more about them, but I don't think there's much more to be said. They're simple, cute stories that bridge the gap between Axis and XV, expand a little bit on the characters that needed expanding, and a little bit on the characters that didn't really, but it's still cool that they expanded on them. I'm surprised that Genjuro didn't appear, and nobody else from Tsubasa's family. Although, again, that would require those Zesshou Shinais to also take place during the runtime of the season proper, and they didn't. So, yeah, it's a choice. Again, it's a choice. I guess maybe why they didn't do that in between things is they wanted XV to be the finale, right? The final episode, the final scene of XV was supposed to be the finale of the series. If they were to make Zesshou Shinais after that, and if they were to give Zesshou Shinais its own ending scene, for example, events after XV, it would essentially create another ending of the series as a whole. And they didn't want a finale of the series as a whole to be a Zesshou Shinai chronologically, right? They wanted the finale to be the final episode of the final season. I guess that could have been the reasoning, although we'll never know unless there are some interviews or something. If so, do let me know in the comments or on my Discord or wherever you want. And now, I think that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, no, not yet. How does my outro go again? Leave a comment down below. What did you think of those episodes, of my reaction, my theories, if I had any, or anything else that I asked you during the runtime of this episode? Do you have anything to add? Do you have anything to take away from what I said? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below or on the Discord. It's open, linked here and also in the description. But please do leave a comment as well for the algorithm gods. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Symphogear XV, but also Gundam Witch from Mercury. Madoka Magica will be coming back soon enough. Ancient Magus Bride, Benria Saito-san Isekai ni Iku, I still have yet to finish that, and other shows coming at you in the near future. I also stream sometimes, so you might want to click the bell icon to be notified when I stream some gacha game, for example. Subscribe, already said that. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, for example, linked below in the description, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, Madoc and others, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you can still help the channel by sharing my content, spreading the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps an awful lot, believe you me. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without the Net, Fruit, Zayrainer, Akomancer, Fussel, Dr. Watt, Marsh, Hans-Peter, and you can join them if you want, and you don't need to turn into a chibi form to achieve that.